everyone, and welcome to another dev stream. So my name is Pyrit, I am the community manager for Vigor, and today I'm here with Zane, our executive producer.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
And Alex, our scripter.
Hello everyone.
So please let us know in the chat if you can hear us properly, that everything is working all right, and we will jump right into it. Let us know in the chat, guys. Cool. And I see a lot of our partners here. Hello, Caddy. Nice. Perfect audio. So we can jump right in.
Yeah, let's go.
Shall we? So what we will be discussing today. Obviously, Season 8. And what's new, the Battle Pass, you know, all of the changes that we have done. Then we will look at the changes that we have done to the XPs and start from there. We have some really exciting news that we haven't shared just yet, so this dev stream should be pretty packed. Hello everyone in the chat. Alright, so let's start. So what's new in Season 8? Obviously is the new Battle Pass. I'm sure that most of you have already seen it, but we can definitely have a look at it.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
The Battle Pass was one of the main features in this season. We weren't adding a bunch of new stuff and rather focused on the fixes. So what is in the Battle Pass this time?
For example, assault mittens, because typical mittens don't work enough. You have to have assault mittens.
Hey, how are you supposed to squeeze the trigger if you can't get your finger through the hole? Come on, it's got the little hole cut out for your index.
That's why they're assault, you know. So the interesting things are obviously new titles.
Yeah, this one is really cool.
Which progress really properly, and elf caps, and new beautiful sniper rifle, the Parker Hale. It's new and the only golden bolt action rifle, and there are a couple very interesting skins like this carbon one, and then we have another one which is a bit later, and you also get some of the Parker Hale itself to test it out, how it works and if you like it. And in the free route we have a lot of boxes and newly consumables in stack of 10s. So now you can really boost your stash of the armor plates, portable signal detectors, contact bombs, and all other goodies. Yeah, here is actually the blueprint for the Parker Hale rifle. So it only takes 35 levels, which should be very doable this season. Also, you may have noticed that we reduced the XP boosters a bit. That's along with the new season's length. So you will have
yeah, that's right.
content to grind instead of getting all of it in first few weeks. So yeah, I think the new Battle Pass really brings in some cool customizations and a good stash of resources. So
Yeah,
definitely,
absolutely.
in my opinion, worth it.
Alright, so that was the Battle Pass, and what else is new in the new season? So other than removing the mortar strikes, we did another big change to the encounters, but first let's try out the new weapon. Let's see how it
As you
is.
can see, it has excellent scope. The only thing is that the bullet drop is there, and at higher distances it's maybe a bit much for the sniper rifle, but not so much that I overshoot the target.
Nice, good one. Let us know in the chat, what do you guys think about this?
Especially if you grind it already. I respect everyone who got the Parker Hale and the blueprint already. And if you have any interesting info or any good montages, I wanna see them.
Exactly. All right. So, should we go into the encounter and show what's new?
Yeah.
While we are in the map selection, we can also talk about the new stuff that we haven't shared yet. So Zane, do you want to take this one and the featured map?
Which one? Oh man.
Yeah,
there's so many things. So we talking like the first one we talked about earlier today?
Yeah,
it's
the first one.
Or oh, cool, perfect. Sorry, as you can tell, I'm drinking coffee and trying to play catch up. So yeah, nothing confirmed yet. These are just like we've heard some feedback. We've listened to the community on this, and kind of right now what we're kind of discussing and looking into is expanding, hopefully soon, the elimination and shootout maps. We understand that there's only one map for elimination, and you have one for shootout right now, which is Sawmill. We see some areas of opportunity for expanding that, but we have nothing set in concrete yet. We're still in the early just conversation pieces, but we do as a team want to start putting some more variety into those game modes for the players who actually enjoy doing those games.
So hopefully this answers some of your questions on shootout and elimination, if there's anything new coming up. But there's another exciting thing when it comes to choosing the maps, which is the featured map. After the update was released, there were many opinions on this, because obviously a featured map for this season is Dwerg, as you can see. We see you, we hear you, so we decided to change that. So guys, do you want to talk about it?
Well,
that's awesome. Yeah, I forgot about that one. That's going to be great.
Yeah,
because that wasn't on my list. Well, so I think it's actually really cool because we used to have featured maps, right? So we saw the return of Fisk last season after it was away for a few months. Before that, we had we had Sawmill come out. Now, because there's no new maps, we're still in the pipeline working on things. Nothing ready to discuss about it. But what we decided to do is every 2 weeks we'll rotate and change that map out to something new, something different. I'm also a big component of the community. Like if the community's like, we want this map. Who are we to say no? Like if it's a good map, yeah, sure. But we kind of want to give you guys some variety where you're not stuck. We understand that map is not the best to be a static map, and so I think it's today or tomorrow. No, today's Wednesday. Sorry, tomorrow, Friday, that will be changing over to a new map rotation every 2 weeks. And just let us know. I think the first one is Fisk. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. It could change, but I think we were talking about putting Fisk in there again, or putting something a little bit different. But we are listening to you guys. We want to hear what kind of maps you want to see on those 2 week rotations as we go through the seasons. I hope that answered a lot of questions. Sorry, I'm drinking a Monster, so if I seem a little distracted, it's a delicious one. That is not a brand to give out, by the way. No free rides here.
Personally, for me, I have some favorite maps, and if by sheer luck my favorite map is the featured one, then I can go crazy and employ many different strategies on the map, which I normally wouldn't be able to, because you can get like 4 or 5 games before it rotates out.
Yeah, that's true. And which one is your favorite then?
For me, it's Fisk, Fort Snow.
Yeah, makes sense.
Those two are the best. Maybe Ridge, but only in rooms where there is no pro scoper. So yeah.
Alrighty, so we can
Let's
jump.
go.
Yeah, let's go into the encounter.
Do we have any more preferences?
I
Let's
don't know.
go featured.
Yeah, true. And we have already some positive feedback on the 2 weeks rotation. Glad you guys like it. Like, we will try it out and see how you like it. So definitely just put your feedback anywhere on our social media, we will see it. And thank you for all the feedback. Like, this is why we are doing the changes that organically and so fast.
Yeah.
Because we hear you.
I think the 2 week rotation on a featured map could also be used to have some special event on the map itself. So this could bring something new every few weeks, even for those who have everything already.
That's true.
And for that purpose, I would personally look into changing the gameplay than giving more XP, for example. But we'll see. Yes, we have crowns here. Let's go.
Like, sorry for putting you in the prey pack customizations.
What is wrong about Bunny?
Well, he's nice, but I don't know if you like it. I was the one setting it up.
It's the new meta. You have to have the bunny outfit.
Technically, he's a wear bunny because he's wearing the wolf hoodie, but the bunny top.
Yeah, he plays on both sides.
Yeah, the only
basically.
thing I'm missing is assault mittens. Then it would be complete.
No,
True.
so you need the neon mittens to make it complete.
Yeah,
All right. Everyone's ready?
it's very interesting room full of blue jackets.
And we can see right away one of the first changes.
Oh yeah, yeah, you can. Here is one, and here is the second. So we heard you.
Yeah, we
There
heard
is
you.
more points of interest now.
Hmm.
We are sorry for the 1 point of interest. It wasn't interesting enough. So let's go check this out. And there is a follow-up for the new content there.
Nice.
Hopefully we'll manage to survive that long.
Ah, yeah, that's true. So guys, if you are sitting next to your Xbox right now, make sure to jump right in and you might be able to kill us. Oh, kill you.
Wow.
But you're really good, so.
Well, we can spice it up by putting a reward for my killer.
True, that's nice. Good idea for next stream.
The only thing is that the matchmaking is a bit weird because there aren't enough games played on this account. So,
Yeah, that's
so
right.
it might be much harder to find us on the map. Okay, so some comm stations were activated and we are getting closer to our destination.
Alrighty, I will quickly jump.
I'm enthralled by your gameplay right now. I'm actually like I'm watching the stream while in this stream, so it's like huge meta. But I feel like I'm watching just I'm just like, what's he gonna do? Where's it gonna come from?
But we are
Almost there.
pretty close. Almost there. Oh, you have the crossbow with you.
Yeah, that was there as well. It's the best sneaky boy weapon.
Nice. G40 Chris is asking, I should join an encounter and go hunting
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Alexander.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely go for it, man.
You should. I will just run into corners of the map and pray. Will I be able to find the timed switches though? And I should know the location of those.
I think that in the meantime, Zane, we can touch a little bit the changes that we have done to the XPs. Because like there were many questions regarding this. Why we haven't told the community earlier what exactly are the changes, because like most of it is mentioned in the changelog, but we should probably explain why we did it in the first place. So would you like to start?
Yeah, we can definitely talk about it a little bit. 'Cause I think the biggest thing is people want to get to those levels. And I think what's interesting, and I've seen this dichotomy form within the community, is they correlate battle pass level to experience level, right? And it's never that correlation in my mind with this game. The battle pass is just showing your progression through that season, getting the cool stuff you need to help you progress through your encounters in the Outlands. So when we come down to the XP situation, what we were seeing was, yes, a small percentage of a player base, which it's rough to say because we said like 3% was the original around there, that number, but really it's a little bit larger than that. And the reason is because what we saw was a lot of the hoarding of the crates and a lot of people waiting till the start of a new. So what you would normally see is about 4 weeks till the season ended. Players would hoard as many as they could, and they would burn all of them through, just getting through the season as quickly as possible, and never really engaging or playing or really finding that means. We also noticed that because of those crates, that was the primary focus. Like a lot of people didn't want to hit POIs, they didn't want to go for comm stations or arrays, because all they wanted to focus was shootout crates to grind those and hopefully trying to get an airdrop. So what we did is we were trying to find a good balance of the XP in a system, is lowering those crates but finding worth in those instances and those encounters that you're going to get those XP. One of the things we also did is we buffed Lone Wolf XP. So now Lone Wolf, you actually feel like you're getting something worth your value when you go into those engagements against 2-mans or 3-mans. I think that was probably one of my biggest frustrations as a player as well, and someone who works on this game is like, I'd go in and wipe a squad or 2 or 3, and I'd walk out with just a little bit of extra XP, but not enough to really, compensate me for the risk versus reward. So we saw that, we heard that, so we did change that XP, and we'll still be looking at XP and balancing as we go out. But I think part of the thing is we're going to be a little bit more transparent and clear on the communication when we start making those changes, just to make that game feel a little bit more worthwhile. And part of that comes down to, and the community's talked about it in the chat, the seasons are a little bit longer, so you kind of have to balance somewhere. If you burn through the season in 2 weeks, there's really nothing to do for you. But if you find a way to make it organic and naturally extended, where it doesn't feel like it's a grind, and that's really what we're trying to find, is that value in the encounters to get the XP to where it helps your battle pass, but it doesn't feel too grindy. So that's why we're starting to change those XP a little bit and balance it out. So keep an eye out. We'll be talking about it more. I listen to a lot of streams. I watch a lot of the streams, so I hear the community talking. I watch a lot of the chats, so I hear the conversations y'all have about these things. And that's why you start seeing some of the conversations happen internally and little changes like that. The big change was the shootout crates, or the crates and the shootouts, and Lone Wolf was our first implementation of trying to get those. There's a couple other things we want to implement down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Was that too long of an answer? I'm sorry, I got on a soapbox.
It was great. It was great, and thank you for this, Zane. I'm just like watching the game, watching the chat. You know, like you really radiate respect. Actually, like I've seen a few people like chickening out from the queue because they do not want to fight you.
Oh, really? But to add something to the Lone Wolf, I think I talked to some people who were doing it mainly to seal club or for role-playing purposes.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think that's the best thing about the Lone Wolf. And lack of XP was annoying, but it wasn't enough for me to just not queue as a Lone Wolf every time. And we didn't want to overshoot it so that everybody would just go as a Lone Wolf just to get the most XP.
Coolio.
And we got to a point of new content, but Zane was very busy explaining everything. And the new content was the loot inside of the timed save. And this was with 250% booster. And it pretty much filled my inventory. So this was one of the biggest changes about the loot, is that before this it was literally busted for the timed save and locked container. Now it's much more balanced, and now you also get a much bigger bang for your boosters. So now it actually boosts by 50%, and the consumables are actually boosted by half the number of boosters. So if you have 2 painkillers, let's say, and there are 6 boosters, then you add plus 3 painkillers to those 2. So in total 5. That's the reason why I got 5 of these, for example, and 5 alarm traps. So now it will be much more consistent. Now you can always get the tools from there. You can always get some weapons or some weapon parts with the ammo this time. So you can go in naked, try your luck at the safes, and just get your loot and start fighting afterwards. You don't need to take the whole loadout. It's
nice.
to improve that strategy. Or you can take white weapons, and you can count on it that you will find better. And the reason why you can find so many weapon parts there now is that the only good thing about weapon parts is that you can take all 4 slots of weapons into encounter and still have some parts with you, so you can actually bring more weapons than before. And I'm not aware that there were many of the purple parts on the map, except for maybe a few trucks. So now you can also get like PSS parts and stuff like that. So you can test those weapons much more. And actually, for example, the timed save always gives purple weapon parts, I think. I have purple, yeah. Yeah, so actually from the boosted lobby, I can build 3 new weapons. Plus
nice.
what I have in the inventory already.
If you survive.
If I survive, yeah, that is. And
That's
somebody took the airdrop already, and he is actually not far from me.
Are we going after him?
Oh, obviously. He has my airdrop, so.
I like the spirit. I would
Well,
just run
also
away.
give more chances to for people to win. But maybe if he will be crossing river, then it will be just easy. Yeah.
Ah, here he is. Nice. But this is too far away.
Oh, he stopped.
Hiding.
Yeah, see, he didn't do one shot.
I think
Yeah, I
we
lost him
missed
in the
our
forest.
chance.
And since we don't have
After a hunter,
the
what happened there?
Nice. This is saying punch his beard off, Alexander.
maybe
Ah, good one.
if I will get unstuck. Yeah, I'm starting. I hope I won't die here.
Oh, you still have all the
Yes.
health. Nice. Good.
Okay. Where are you? That exit. So there is like a massive uphill. There will be quite few chances to shoot him down.
Oh, all right. So this time we even have some gameplay action.
Oh, if we'll catch up.
Oh, we will. I believe in you. All right, guys. If you have any questions, do not forget to put them in the chat so we can also answer them. Why don't they answer any questions? We will get to them. We just wanted to cover the new stuff first, and then we will jump to the questions. So
Show
don't
you
worry.
some Parker Hale action, as everybody wanted
I've been
to see.
fighting the urge not to answer questions because I know I was like, we're doing question time later.
But you can. If you see a good question, go ahead, definitely.
Yeah, fire off.
And let's see. We have question about keyboard and mouse support on Xbox. This is something that we originally kind of wanted to put into the game, but we decided during the process that this is probably not the way we want to go, because, you know, when you're playing with keyboard and mouse, you would need to be in a separate lobby than the controller players. Obviously, you know, some players would have a huge advantage over others, and we are still a console game, and we want to remain one, basically. So there are currently no plans of adding keyboard and mouse support to Vigor.
Let's go.
So, are we
Actually,
going?
well said.
Are we going to hunt him down or not?
He's dead already. I looted him.
Ah, he's already
There's the
dead.
airdrop.
I was answering the question. Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Coolio. And once we get out, we will jump into the questions. There were many good ones. And I have them right ready. Nice.
I will jump in here real quick because I've seen this posted a few times, and I just actually looked in my game, and so I don't remember your name, chat and Twitch, so I apologize. But whoever mentioned the KS23 not showing up in your armory, I'm going to go ahead and send that up once I get out of this dev stream to have QA look into that, because I'm noticing that as well in my armory. So good call out, dude. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So I didn't even notice that. So dang. See, I do play the game and pay attention, chat. I just can't say anything. Old streamer habits are coming out hard right now.
I just hope there will be no exit camper. Just please.
I hope there is. Deal with them. I want to see you. Come on,
I have
man.
2 bullets,
got-
man.
Then you better John Wick it.
Yeah, it's one more bullet than I need, right? Yeah, okay, we got it.
I actually have a really tricky question for you, Zane, from one of our Facebook players. Basically, he's asking, on the last stream, Zane mentioned that, and I quote, I suck on Switch compared to Xbox. If you can elaborate on that, like, why is this? Can you please explain? Is the game easier on Xbox players compared to Switch players, or what's going on? So.
Oh, I'm just preferred Xbox fanboy. That's why I've been playing on Xbox since the Duke, and I have large childlike man hands, and I can't play on a PS controller because my thumbs slam together, and a Switch I am just not very comfortable in a handheld device. So I've always played console shooters on Xbox, and that's just kind of what I'm comfortable with is the controller. So that's why I suck on everything else.
All right, thank you for answering. I kind of thought so. I'm also much better with controllers. So that's about it, and we can jump to the questions. So, first question is from Twitter. What do you mean by come back later when a season turns legacy? And this gives us an opportunity to talk a bit about legacy seasons. There were obviously many questions about these since it's a feature that is still in making. But we are almost finished, so we are close to releasing this feature. So let's explain what it's all about. What are legacy seasons? Who wants to start?
Zane, maybe?
Rock, paper, scissors, but I'd always win
Well,
because you can't see what I'm throwing.
With the legacy seasons, there is like one big topic. I joined on PS not so long ago, and I actually want to go through the season 1, 2, 3, 4 again. And I miss those, and I miss the items you get from them. I miss the customizations. So hopefully we'll get this running properly, and you can enjoy the older stuff on the newer platforms as well. Or even for the newcomers who joined the game recently.
And also like PlayStation players that weren't able to play the old seasons. So yeah, basically this will just give you an opportunity to get all of the stuff from the old battle passes that you weren't able to play or weren't able to finish. We are still working on it. There is no exact date. But as I said, we are close to finishing the feature. First thing first, we would like to give it to our partners to test it out, if I'm correct, Zane, right?
You know what? I should probably stop muting myself because that would help too at times. You guys are absolutely right. So you hit the nail on the head with how the legacy seasons are there for. It's for the players coming back. It's for the players who maybe were here before that never got to try it because they missed out, or the new guys that are coming into the community. So, man, it's... I wouldn't say it's I'm trying to find the right way to word it because it's kind of done. It's kind of there. We're just waiting on the right time frame to release those and drop those into the community. We have an internal schedule that we're not ready to show because we are syncing up a few last little bits. I would also say probably go back to last week or the week before stream when me and Johanny were here, because Johanny went into a really good explanation of the legacy seasons. But it should be really interesting to see. And I think one of the coolest things is a lot of the guys who were here back in season 1 that never got to finish season 1, myself included, finally have an opportunity to go back and get some of that cool stuff we missed out on so long ago with this game. Because the game's been out for a while on Xbox, but it's so fresh, so new on Switch and PlayStation. So keep an eye out, more information, but I think our partners will get their hands on it. We'll give the partners a green light and say, hey, you want to show something off? But we're going to put it in their hands because they give us a lot of good critical feedback, and we lean on them a lot of the times when we have new features coming out of how it works, what they feel about it, how does the mechanic play out. And then when we give it to the wild of the community, then we start getting that overwhelming feedback. So the partners is a good little test bed. I can't put a time frame on when they'll have it because I know they're in the stream right now, and they'll be like, when? Soon. Trademark TM, like
when it's ready.
But yeah, exactly. When it's ready and we feel comfortable. That's a perfect answer, Alex. Jeez. Yeah, we're gonna give it to them
It's
first.
not mine,
and then,
though.
yeah. Hopefully they'll be able to show it off at some point. But it is something that we want to get in their hands, and we think like we're really excited for it. And I get very passionate when I talk about it because there's a lot of really good content from those old seasons that no one's got to touch or see in a really long time.
Alrighty, we already have questions when, so you are right on this one. Anyway, jumping to the next question, and this one is really good. Like this season wasn't really packed with new features. As I said, we focused on the new battle pass and a lot of fixes. So, since this season and the last season had less content than what is typically expected because of balancing and fixes, should we expect the same for season 9? It's a good question. although like season 9 is really far right now.
Yeah.
Like we are right at the beginning of season 8. But short answer is sure, you can definitely expect more features coming your way in season 9.
I wouldn't say just features overall, because features can be construed into like things you can do.
Yeah.
We're really looking at season 9 and adding more things to it. And I think you said it the best there. You know, we just released with season 8, and I summarized this question to like, you got your Christmas presents, and now you're asking your parents, hey, what do I get next Christmas? What do you get me? You know, it's too early. Like once we're ready to start getting down to that pipeline, talking about what season 9 will be, what's going on with it, we'll start not leaking, but revealing some of those details. But it's just too early, guys. But we already took that into consideration in the conversations we had today, and the things that are shaping up for the next season are looking really good. And I like kind of the things that we have planned for season 9.
Thank you, Zane. And I think that we can also jump into some questions from Reddit and Facebook, so we do not stay on only on Twitter. And this one is really good. It's pretty long, mostly feedback, but the first question is, will you hotfix the bug where you cannot shoot if you open one lock on the locked container? First off, thank you guys for the early reports. We are already working on this one. But when it comes to hotfix, we cannot really promise that it's going to happen. It's like we first have to create a fix, then we have to test it out. And that's pretty much it. Like, no promises. We are looking into it, obviously, but we are not sure yet if we will be able to squeeze it into some kind of hotfix or rather in one of the next updates.
Yeah. It's always problem with the hotfixes, especially when you are on the multiple platforms. It's not as easy to figure it out as if you are on the PC with your own servers and your own client and stuff like that.
Exactly. Alrighty.
I think there was more to that post though.
Yeah. I will jump right back to it. I was just checking something else. Here we go. Why have you nerfed the amount of boxes you get from Shootout for winning, or this is the amount we should be getting? This is a really good question, actually.
Yeah.
And first things first, there is a whole article describing all of the changes that we have done to Shootout. The article will be coming out later today, so stay tuned for that. We will be sharing it on all of our social media. But why have we done this change? Well, basically...
Personally, I think the shootout rewards were kinda same level of busted as the new loot events, and I farmed pretty much everything. I got all weapons, a lot of customizations, just by playing the shootout on the PS. So since the main point of the game is encounter and what you feel during the encounters while in the outlands, while running for your life, instead of just farming a ton of resources and being bored by the game later on. And if you perform good in Shootout, you still get a lot of rewards. And I tested it on the new version on the PS, and it didn't change much for me personally. And also you can still boost it to be on the similar level as before, so there are more reasons to boost it. If it works like that, but I think it does.
Yeah, I think so too. And it was like a really, really good answer.
Yeah.
And then it's just a great job on the weapon lockups. Looks much better now. Thank you so much. And weapon placement on the shoulder looks much better, especially the ADR. Thank you for the positive feedback and for the questions. All right, so what do we have next? I think that I saw a really good question in the chat. Question, some challenges are glitched. Can we get a mechanic to replace a challenge with crowns? Good question. Like, I don't know which ones are bugged actually
The
right now.
ones with the melee.
Oh, yeah, yeah, true.
You kill somebody, but it doesn't increase the counter.
Yeah. So we are
So,
looking into it.
well, basically, but if there is a big desire to get ability to rotate the challenges, I don't see a problem. But for me personally, it kind of forces me into playstyles I don't usually employ. So
Oh, that's
I like
true.
that. Unless I'm running low on the equipment, which I need for the quest, or if it's melee quest, then yeah, definitely I would want to get rid of it. So I'm not surprised there. If I think if enough of you will want to change like that, then we can definitely look into it.
Alrighty. So what do we have next? Next question. Yeah, this one, like, we mostly answered it also on our last stream, but I think that it never hurts to repeat it. So what are our thoughts on limiting the amount of portable signal detectors someone can bring into the game?
Yeah, so I wouldn't limit this question only to the portable signal detectors, but only not only, but to the everything else, to all other consumables. And there are basically two parts to the problem. One part is dupers, and basically you can get full inventory of something and give it to somebody else. And second topic is the actual balance of having 20 portable signal detectors in the match, or like 5 painkillers and antibiotics, so you can be pretty much immune to damage. So we'll definitely look into some kind of limits to the items to make it more interesting and to make you plan ahead with those consumables and tools a bit more ahead.
Right. Zane, anything you
Yeah.
want to add?
That kind of wow. I just almost need to sit out on the stream when Alex shows up. Alex knows all. Alex is good at this. Yeah, no,
Easy
so
though,
you're
easy.
absolutely right. No, we've talked. I think me and you have actually talked about this a lot till we're blue in the face about balancing of the consumables, tools, and that's something I think we're still talking about. Is we see it as players and we see it as a team that there is a little bit of a chaotic disorder with how players use some of the consumables and some of the tools, and what we want to do is find that balance and between tools and player. Encounters and being smart with what you do and how you think about your encounters, because anybody can go in with 20 portables, but what's the real skill in running with 20 portables? So we're trying to find a balance of that, and the hard thing is like to give a number of what that will be right now, but we are looking at it. We are having serious conversations because we do see it from both aspects. All I can say is stay tuned once we have more details and we're ready to start sharing it and seeing the changes. But this is something I think as a team we're very passionate about. We talk about at least 3-4 times a week of how we want to look at doing this when we have those meetings. Like, you can even attest, I think we hijacked a meeting for 45 minutes one day just to talk about this one issue.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, true.
But to be absolutely fair, there is one additional factor in, and that is Half Metal Fox's video on contact bombs, where he detonates like 80 of them. I like that content. I want to see more of it. But if we put a hard limit, then that would be pretty much it, and I would be very sad. So there are like two sides of the coin.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a balance, right? Like, once again, it comes back to balances. We
Yeah.
can have those discussions, find something, listen to the community. But really, I love Half Metal Fox in his videos, but did you really need that many contact bombs?
Yeah, maybe not.
Oh, true. Said we do. I think that we do not have him on the stream today, but hopefully he will see it at least.
Maybe.
And the second part is not exactly a question, more of a feedback. Season 8 Battle Pass. Adding weapons and resource crate to the Battle Pass was a great choice, but I think that stacks of 10 explosive, decoys, or plates is a little excessive. These items should be less common, in my opinion. What do you guys think about this one?
That's a twist. And it all depends on how does it go into the limits. Because if you can take only, let's say, 2 portable detectors, and you have a big stash of them, then you can use them every match. And personally, for the new player, it's pretty good reward to get 10 of some tool, so you can actually test it, so you can actually know if you like it or if it suits your strategy. So it's mainly for this reason, in my opinion, not that you can get a bigger stack of those items.
Yeah. And I think this is a very good question that shows that balance between core and hardcore, right?
Yeah.
He feels we've given too much because it takes away from those experiences, while other players are like, I need more. Like, give me more.
Yeah,
So it's
I
that
ran out
balance.
first day, like.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like me myself personally, when I go into an encounter, I take 2 armor plates with me. I put one at the start, and if I get knocked at some point, I put the second one on. It's just how I've always thought in my brain when I play when armor plates were introduced. Part of the issue is part of the things you see as well with those larger amounts is we do have a large part of the community right now who doesn't have access to any of those at all. Like the only way they can get them is either by the battle pass or by actually going into the encounters and getting to the POIs or instances or killing another player who has them. So it's hard to find that balance, and you're kind of seeing us trying to find a balance to help the community as a whole put those together. But once we start seeing legacy seasons come into play and you start seeing the overhauls, that's I think when you'll start seeing that balance and change of what's actually being outputted in those, because now players will have an ability to get those blueprints that they desperately want right now. I think probably the most thing seeked by players is portables and armor plates.
Definitely.
They want those blueprints as quickly and as easily as possible because they feel they need those items. So it's trying to give just a little bit so they can survive and hold off until they can get to those seasons and actually grind out those battle passes to get those items. I know the hardcore guys are like, hey, it's a little much. And I feel you. I'm a hardcore guy myself, but I look at it from both sides, hardcore and core. But I understand where you're coming from. That's a great point and great question.
On the other hand, from the hardcore perspective, at least you don't have to craft like tens of items. So you don't have to spend the time in the menu. So there is a plus side.
True. Alrighty, we can move on to the next one. This one is from Facebook. So, Bastian is saying, I lost all my challenges and medals in shooting range. Any chance to get them back, and could you fix that, please? We are actually investigating this right now and what's happening there, so we are looking into it for sure. And yeah, that's pretty much all the info that I have on this right now, but just know that we are looking into this, and hopefully we will be able to deal with this really soon and fix it. All right, the next one is about crossplay. Hey Vigor team, I feel you need to implement crossplay as soon as possible. We are looking into this currently.
Yes.
I would join the camp of please give us developers. I also want to play with guys on Xbox from IPS. It's annoying,
Yeah,
right?
and a large group, and I've talked about this before, a large group of our player base from the dev team are on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Alex included. I'm Xbox, so it's one of those moments where it's like, hey, you want to play it? No, we can't. So it is something that we've been looking at and talking about and investigating. We've talked about, I think, for a couple of months about how do we do it. Right when PlayStation was around, we internally wanted to, like that was something I fought for. We just didn't have the ability to do it at the time. So now we're looking at it, investigating it, and thinking and seeing if this is feasible or possible. Just hold on. Hopefully we'll have more information, but it is something that we're passionate about as a team, but we just don't have any concrete answers to give right now, but we are looking into it, and we hear you guys. We heard you guys since day one when PlayStation was announced.
Yeah,
so
like I wanted this before PlayStation was announced or before there was a build even. So yeah, it's not as easy.
Yeah, true. All right. Next question. We already covered this one, but I just want to repeat it for everyone who joined the stream right now. If we are going to rotate the featured map, or if it's going to be just Verk for the whole season. No, the featured map will be actually rotating every 2 weeks, starting this Friday. So you can expect new map on Friday, and then every 2 weeks.
Yep.
And the second question, give me a minute, I will get it up. And yeah, here we go. So, why did you remove shootout crates? We already covered this one.
Kinda.
So it's it's
So you don't farm too much from the shootout,
exactly.
and that you get reward only when you perform really well and when you really deserve the reward, in my opinion. Because
Yeah.
getting second or third in shootout is really easy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Unless you play the game for like fifth time, but in that case, farming resources is from the shootout is not as relevant to you, and you focus
that's-
more on the encounters anyway.
And that's one of the things you called out really well there, and I want to point that out is when the shootout rewards went in, I feel like it just wasn't polished quite where we needed it.
Didn't feel
And-
right.
Yeah, and what we saw as a team is more players spent more time in shootout harvesting crates than actually going out in encounters and getting the things they need to actually be successful in those encounters. And so it became this weird split dichotomy of, well, I can just go do shootout to do everything I need for encounters. So that's why you're seeing some of those changes and balances done to the shootout rewards. We're still listening to the community, still reviewing a lot of the feedback with the changes. You see, we do listen, we do adjust if we need to. So let us know throughout the season how it feels, what you think about the rewards overall as we get through the season. And you never know, we could see some adjustments, we could see some changes, or maybe just more logic or explanations. But we are listening to you, and that's kind of the reasoning behind those changes of those rewards.
And the second part of the question is about camping. You need to add something to stop camping. And this is a tricky one because we did,
Yeah.
and
And
it wasn't ideal.
It was too much, so we removed it, and there is nothing in its place.
Yep.
So fixed issue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically
And
we'll take another look on it and think about how to implement it in such way that it would be subtle and reasonable enough, and at the same time it will actually reduce the desire to camp in the first place.
Yeah. And
But-
it was. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, but it's like a bigger topic to tackle, and it's not a simple answer as just let's throw bombs at the camper,
Yeah.
as all of you discovered already. So
Yeah, and that was the most evasive way I think that the system went in. And right now is the serious conversations is how do we implement this where it's not invasive, where it doesn't feel like it's forced upon the player, but it gives at least enough awareness or notification. Like it's a long conversation. It is something that can't be answered in 5 minutes and it can't be resolved in 2 days. But we are aware that there are people who are looking for a little bit of some kind of notification of like, hey, there's somebody camping in that bush right now. There's a bush Wookiee over there. So we're talking, we're working on it, and I hope we have some more stuff to show soon. But we're really listening to you guys and watching the streams and kind of playing the game with our mentalities and our gameplay statuses, with how some of the community plays, to see like how can we affect and balance that camping issue. Because honestly, camping is part of a tactic. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna defending it, but it is an optional tactic. But there needs to be a balance to it.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
for me personally, camping is a completely normal strategy. Turtling, some players don't like to move out and like to wait in ambush. I think it's perfectly fine, but the game gets broken in certain moments when somebody is camping, and that namely somebody is camping and looking at the door, and you have no way of getting him out. Or he is camping in a bush the whole game and just waiting for you to pass. That's, in my opinion, not interesting, but for example, tracking somebody the whole time and seeing his destination and laying an ambush, I think that's perfectly legit camping, to be fair.
I've set up ambushes at locked container before,
Yeah,
where I've pushed a guy
doing
out
it all
of the
the time.
woods with the mortar and then just destroyed him from sitting like 10 feet away from locked container. So there are moments for it, but it's like there's a balance to, once again, like some of us will sit for 2-3 minutes because we're like, okay, no one's coming or this guy's not moving. Other guys will sit for 5 minutes, almost the entire encounter, just waiting for that one shot. And that's where that break comes into play.
Yeah, for example, since you mentioned the container already, I think camping by container is completely fine in my eyes. But camping inside of the container behind the crate, that's sketchy, and that's not okay in my opinion.
all right. So I think that enough was said about camping.
Yeah.
And I almost forgot the exciting news. I already saw a few people asking about it in the chat. So there is a double XP weekend coming your way. It's going to be happening this weekend. So get ready for the double XP this weekend.
I was trying not to say anything. Like so many people were asking, and I was like, "Did we say it yet? Do I say something?"
Yeah, we say.
Because there was some confusion in the last stream, and I will take a little bit of clarification here for everybody. When we announced that there would be a double XP weekend at the start of the season, what we discussed was it may be at the start of that first week or it may be at the second week. We were still at that point deciding where we wanted to drop that double XP weekend. So I apologize for causing any confusion for the community who was hungry for that double XP weekend last weekend, but it is this weekend with the same day as the map changes with the featured map rotation.
Exactly.
So you can grind away on a new map, new featured map.
That's right. So get ready for that. I'm so glad that we haven't forgotten about it, because I was like answering the questions and then I was like, oh wait, we need to say this.
Yeah, that would be a surprise.
And yeah, another big topic that we wanted to cover, since we are pretty close to the end of the stream, we still have a few minutes. We wanted to touch a bit on the shooting rebalancing, if we want to do something about the weapons and so on. So Alex, do you want to start with this one, because you have a lot to say?
I can try. So with the weapon balance, we know, we are not blind, that there is a SG1/H bar meta, and we would like to do something about it. We would like more weapons to be relevant in the game, and change some things on how the weapons deal damage at the distance. That would be our first focus, because you have weapons like VSS, which behave really cool, but since their damage is literally halved after 50 meters, it's very hard to kill somebody, and it's a sniper rifle. So those moments, like this one, in my opinion, should be fixed. And personally, I wouldn't change all weapons, like parameters and stats of them, just so they will be changed. But I would want to see those changes first for the damage over distance, and I think then we can start talking. Except for the SG1 and H-bar, those should be reworked a bit. And one big point for the weapon balance is also the presence of armor plate and the way it works, especially against the Parker Hale rifle, as some of you already noticed. So that's another moment of the game where we will take a look on it and see what we can do to make it more interesting to engage on longer ranges with the sniper rifles. Especially with the new one. I still wait for those montages, right?
See, I just want to point out real quick, I'm going to interrupt you, Alex. I love that we mention H-bar SG1 in any stream, and the community's like, use them up, boys, they're going out of style. It's like, that's not the case, guys or gals. Really, and you hit a perfect nail on the head with like the Parker Hale and things like that. And me and Alex, to give you some insight, me and Alex have talked about weapons 3 different occasions for hours. We spent 2 hours yesterday literally talking about different weapons, some of the systems with it, how it works, what's going on with it, because we understand there is a swing in the meta, but there was a swing in how the guns worked a while back. So it's just looking at what changed, what happened, what focused everyone to just these 2 type of real guns over everything else, because there's some really good weapons out there that create some really good moments in some fights. But everyone just loves the H-bar and the SG1, and I get why. I've been running those 2 weapons. If you found me in an encounter, and I know
hundreds
who
of
you
encounters
are,
with those weapons.
Yeah, the partners and players who know my account and have killed me and have taken that, they probably are like, this guy just runs the meta. No, I'm running those for a reason, to understand the players' feel to them, the sense, and there's some issues with them, and we're not going to destroy them.
Don't worry about that. Like, there are specific moments which are wrong with the weapon. With both weapons, in my opinion, and they are broken in specific situation, not when you try to use them to land a single shot or something, but more like accuracy when in full auto, and it feels that it doesn't get enough recoil on full auto,
It's
and
and
that's
I'll
a
also
huge
mention
problem.
this. Yeah, and I'll mention this. We changed the Raffica and how it shot with season 8. Like there was changes to the recoil and everything along those lines, and it feels more natural.
Yeah,
Like it actually
definitely.
feels like it should. So take that into consideration. As we did make some of those tweaks on the Raffica itself. It didn't break it. There's some finalized changes
I
that are
still
going
run
on.
with it every match.
I do.
Yeah,
I almost killed the guy on the
while I
exit,
have
but I was
them.
on single shot.
Yeah.
So so we understand where you guys are coming from. We know you have your favorite guns, but we're not going to go out there and completely just bend it over the knee and destroy it. We're going to find the balance. And I use the word balance a lot in this stream and previous streams, and that's one of the things I feel the game was missing and is still missing at some opportunities. It's just a very good balance because it leans one way or the other in certain instances. So don't freak out, don't panic, don't burn all your H bars and
Yeah,
SG1s.
don't start
Yeah, yeah.
deconstructing. don't-
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
need them. I need them. I'm gonna find you in an encounter in my bunny suit, and I need those. Yeah, so don't freak out. I just wanted to jump in and clarify that. I apologize for jumping over you.
Oh yeah, I'm actually glad because I've seen a few messages about this, like people panicking. So it's glad that we clarified that we won't be like doing like major changes, game breaking changes. So that's great, and thank you for the explanation, guys.
Yep.
So we are slowly coming to an end to this stream. Is there anything you guys would like to add today, or anything else you would like to touch, or a good question that you saw in the chat?
I'm not sure, to be fair.
Zane, do you have anything?
Maybe we didn't mention the bloom issue and the auto fire glitch. I don't want to showcase those more than they should be, but for those who know, we are taking a look on them, and it's not a simple issue. It's not just a flick of a button to fix it, and you see that it's not present on literally every weapon, but only on some and in some occasions. So we'll see how it goes. But after all of those issues are fixed, then we can finally start talking about weapon balance in the first place. There is, in my opinion, no reason to just switch the values just because, just to find some different balance, because the weapons themselves aren't as bad, or their stats, in my opinion.
And so I see a couple of questions. I want to jump in just real fast. I'm gonna do random fire like I did last time. Double XP weekend is this Friday. Don't miss out. Keep an eye on socials. We'll post when it goes live. There's another question about when will the new outfits go to PlayStation? I remember there was an issue. Community, by chance, do you have any updates on the outfits, or are they still waiting for standby?
I think that it's still on standby. We are looking into this, but I do not have an exact date yet.
Cool. I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. It's just I was not part of that conversation this week, so I'm just confirming. Leaderboards on PlayStation, we are looking into those as well. We just don't have any information on it. And I want to call out the legacy season questions, guys and gals. It's coming. Keep an eye out. It's not like we're going to make you wait an entire season before you see something from it. We don't want to give out a release date quite yet, but I will tell you that I will give you one piece of information if I get yelled at by the team for doing it. The legacy seasons will drop during season 8 at some point during season 8. So keep that in mind. We have it coming. I don't want you guys to think it's going to be sitting there all season. You got nothing. We have a lot of stuff dropping through season 8, such as legacy seasons. So you will see small updates come through. Will they have huge major overhauls and changes to the battle pass and new items? Probably not, but it will be things that we can try to fix or update and get put in. But legacy seasons are coming in season 8. Just be patient on it. We'll have more information once we get closer to that release.
Exactly. And there was actually a really good question regarding the legacy seasons. If there is going to be anything for the players that actually played all of the Battle Pass seasons and they have all of the items that were available in there.
Find me and show me proof. I don't know, but I want to see it. You are a golden god or goddess. Like I want to know who this person is. Like that's awesome.
To be fair, if you are at that point and you still enjoy the game, then just make an alt, just make another account and start from the scratch. The game can still be fun after all this time from the beginning. I'm constantly resetting progress because the beginnings are the most fun. It's not fun to grind for 2 weeks just to get an improvement, but it's fun to calculate every metal part just so you can get crafting table level 5.
Yeah, and Loosen Tusk makes has a good question. I just want to touch it because I've seen it a few times, and it's something we've talked about. Eventually, putting hats or goggles on tactical buckles. We are looking into that. I don't have a confirmed date of when that will go in, but we have started looking into the being able to wear baklavas and hats. I don't know about goggles to confirm, but that is something that was requested during Mercenaries when we released those, and so the team has been looking into it. Just no confirmation of when that will go in, but we heard you guys on that one. So, and we think it would be cool because I want to do that. So, awesome. I hope. And if there's anything else, you guys are awesome.
I actually, and I actually saw another good question. Have you managed to get more animators yet? Not since the last dev stream. There's a pretty short time period. But if there's any talented animators watching our stream right now, shoot us a
Let's go.
message.
Let's
We
go.
are always looking for talented colleagues. So
Yep.
definitely,
Yep.
definitely message
You
us.
know all you can fix, right?
Yeah. I say one last thing because I did see it earlier and we didn't touch on it. Somebody asked if there's lore in the game. So there is lore around the world, I guess you could
There
say,
is
that the
lore.
community's created. There is. I'm trying to be very coy about this. Dang it. But one thing I would say is some of the fan theories about the lore and what happened here in Norway are great. Some of our partners, such as like Christopher Beast, has some great lore and insight videos and just some theories. So if you're really interested in some of the community theories and fan stuff, definitely take a look on YouTube. But there is lore scattered throughout the world. Sometimes you just got to go find it. Other times it's a little bit more in your face, but it is something that I think we as a team are very passionate about and something we want to start putting to the forefront. But that it's just there is some right now out there. Just go find it. Let us know. Hit me up on Twitter. Don't DM me. Just tag me and let me see what you found.
Exactly. All right, I have just a few last things. I wanted to thank everyone on Reddit who asked questions this time. There were many, many great comments, really long comments, and sadly, we aren't able to cover all of them on the dev streams, but I will be coming back to them on Reddit, so thank you for that. Do not forget about the Double XP weekend. It's happening this weekend. If you are interested in more info on the Shootout rewards, how they were changed, how is it looking right now, there is an article coming your way. It will be released later today, latest tomorrow. We will be sharing it on all of our social media, so just check this out for the exact information. And I think that's it. Is there anything else, guys?
I think it's pretty much it. Or we could sit there and talk for another 4 hours, right? And
Like, there's always something to say.
yeah, there is always something to say.
But we are trying to do these dev streams more often. We are doing them bi-weekly now, so stay tuned for the next dev stream. Thank you everyone for watching today. Thank you for asking all of those amazing questions. Thank you for all the feedback. This dev stream will be, as always, available on our Facebook and on YouTube, so make sure to check it out if you weren't able to catch the whole stream. Thank you again, and I think that's all from us for today. Thank you, Zane, and thank you, Alex.
Thanks, everyone.
Not a problem. Kisses, hugs, belly rubs.
I will see everyone in the Outlands.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.